everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Afton and I'm Monty's Tarot Child. Today I have a bit of a different reading for you. As you can see, I have 4 piles here for you, and the cards, they do look a bit different. That is because we are doing a reading today about the sensual energy in your life and how it is shifting at this time. This will be a more explicit reading. I do want to make that very clear for everyone who is watching this. So if you are here and interested in how the sensual and pleasure energy is changing in your life right now, I'd love for you to just take a moment to meditate and pause on which one of these 4 piles is meant for you and is most aligned with your energy, and we can get right into your reading. Hello, pile number 1. You chose the wolf as the energy that you feel most connected to for your sensual and your more pleasurable energy in your life changing and taking a shift at this time. So I'm going to leave the cards stationary because this is the Divine Portal Oracle deck, and it is depicted with a lot of anatomy on it. So I'm going to leave the card where it is, and hopefully you are able to receive the message without a clear or up close look, if you get what I'm saying. So the archetype of the wolf, I was going to actually look up. I wanted, a more in-depth feeling as to what you would be bringing or what your energy would be bringing in this reading, pile number 1. But then I decided to go off of intuition and what I sense. And with the wolf is the wolf, with the wolf's energy, I feel as if there is something that you may be on the hunt for. The wolf is a predatory animal. And the only reason that people use that word is because they hunt and they go and they find their food, and more than likely it always has to already be alive in order for it to hunt it. And how this plays a role in your sensual energy and how it is shifting is I feel as if you are in search for something, something that is going to nourish you and feed you. And this doesn't have to be a relationship. I'm not doing these based on relationships. I'm doing it based on the energy of sex in your life, your sensual, physical, pleasurable energy. And you don't have to actually be actively participating in the act for this energy to come across. I feel like you are in search and on the prowl, if I could do that in quotations, on the prowl for a more sensual environment or for the sensual energy to be around you more. So because I can only go off of so much with this card, I'm going to get just directly into the rest of the oracle first, and then we'll get into the tarot. I do want to point out in the wolf card that if you cannot see it, I'll just point it out for you. The colors around the card is correlated to the crown chakra, and you also have the number 48 connected to this card as well. So the crown chakra is talking about something that you're going to be sensing. You're going to intuitively be in movement in regards to seeking out and finding this sensual energy that is for you and meant for you. I'm going to look even more into the tarot and see astrologically how this energy is taking place for you at this time. This is also a timeless message, so you can be watching this at any point and the reading still resonate. So let's see for pile number 1. Yes. Chiron, healing. Okay, so your sensuality, your pleasure is in the process of healing. This has not necessarily been an easy energy to connect with for you, and we're going to talk about why. We have the 10th house at the bottom of the deck with reputation. So somehow your sensual energy, your pleasure, your confidence even in self is connected to your reputation. I can't speak, pile number 1. Your reputation, and somehow connected to your career, your, not the job that you do necessarily, but your overall career. These energies are connected in some way, and we're going to look deeply into it. with Chiron, I think that you are learning that your sensuality, your pleasure, and I'm going to keep using those words interchangeably because, again, we're not just talking about sex. This energy has a lot of healing power for you, especially when you are tapping into it so intentionally, again, with your crown chakra. So this is also a very spiritual experience for you at this time, being able to heal past traumas against your sensuality, or even it could be your physical body. The wolf is also, they travel in packs, but there's, normally a leader, someone at the head as well in regards, and they call them the alpha, right? So I feel like in regards to this reading, you may have been a part of an environment where you weren't necessarily in control or in charge of your own body, or you did not feel this way. And so it almost feels as if this wolf has left a pack that did not feel safe for them. They did not feel heard or seen. And you are on the prowl, again, on the move for a more healing environment for you to be able to express yourself sensually and freely. This is a part of growth for you. I feel like, especially if you are the type who stays even in the most uncomfortable environments, just because there are moments of joy or pleasure there still. I think this is absolutely changing for you. You are making amends with the past, ready to release what has happened, ready to release what has taken almost a hold on, again, your sensuality and almost even your identity. And you're looking to express yourself in a much more confident way. You're ready to let go of self-doubt in regards to even how you feel, or how you feel like you are perceived in your body. This is a very strong reading because of Chiron's presence, just allowing us to know that this energy that you're working through has not just been with you. This is generational things that you, I feel, are working through. And generational in a sense, like there are, generations of people in your family, in your lineage, who have dealt with similar things, not necessarily the whole environmental, but like with their pleasure. It could be, again, that you don't talk about sex or intimate things with, the people that you've grown up with or grown around, because that's just, it's taboo. It's not talked about. So the shame that comes from that as well is being released. You're absolutely in a cleansing process. It's not necessarily been the easiest, and you are eager. I feel like you're eager to start letting more and more go and introducing a new softness into your life. So I'm going to see even more. Let's actually acknowledge the bottom of the deck with the 10th house. Career, responsibilities, achievement, competence, yes, fame, notoriety, standing, authority figures, legacy, purpose, pinnacle, the patriarchy, empire. So with your sensuality, in some way, you are building almost an empire. You are building a very safe environment for yourself. This is something like what you are reclaiming in your life in regards to your sensuality and your pleasure could very well be something that helps you build your career. Again, you don't have to be in the spotlight or necessarily like have an OnlyFans, but it is something that you are achieving in your career through this force of energy that is being reawakened within you. And it's playing a large part in your career. We're going to look and see in the reading how that plays a part. But first, let's just see what else the Oracle wants you to know about your pleasure. You have season, okay, and unite at the bottom of the deck. So with the season card, very, very beautiful. You have the energy of cactus here with endurance. In the pot, there are certain things that you're adding ingredients There's more required, and you're being asked to process or cook something further. And the potion for a solution is final details, like adding the final details onto something. So this is very interesting energy coming out for you, pile number one, because I feel like you are in a cooking process. Cooking is also like, it can be seen as an alchemical process because you're adding all of these different ingredients together in order to get a completely different outcome. Like the things you add in this pot is not going to necessarily, you're going to be surprised what you get out of it. But with intention, it will still be really good. So I feel like in a theoretical sense, in the life of your pleasure, you're adding more to it. You're doing things a little bit differently. You're letting things evolve a little bit longer. You're not rushing. This feels like, this card, yes, it feels like a really intentional meal that you are making. And this is replicated in your pleasurable life, in your sensual life. So there's something here that you're slow cooking, you're taking your time with. It's intentional, it's flavorful, it's robust, and you are very proud about it. Again, and somehow this is connected to your reputation and what you're presenting to the world outwardly. So this is not a time where things are ready for you, especially if this is you're bringing your sensual energy to something like a project where you kind of want to show a different side of you than what has been shown before. It's not ready yet because you're adding more of yourself to it. And with endurance, I feel like this is something that you're not giving up on, especially because you feel like the environment that I picked up with the wolf energy is not like, you're not cooking for these folks. You're cooking for your intended people to consume you in a way that is desirable. At the bottom of the deck, you have Unite, and the potion is unity with the little army jar here. So with this being at the bottom of the deck, in connection to the 10th house, you are finding your tribe. You are uniting with like-minded individuals who they walk that same sensual walk. It's like, look at these people together holding hand in hand. They're very confident in their stride. They are confident in each other. They're as confident in each other as they are confident in themselves because they are together, and holding hands together signifies like you will not be alone. You will not feel alone either. And this true, authentic expression of yourself, you're going to have people backing you up, cheering you on, and eager for this new you that is awakening at this time. I feel as if, especially like a part of the wolf energy as well, you've been in hibernation. You've been away. You've, been not necessarily hiding, but you have not been on display, if that's a good word to use for it. And so you have people who are eagerly waiting for your arrival. Show me my common sabotage, and this is in regards to your sensual, pleasurable energy. At the bottom of the deck, show me what to reject. Okay, so wow. Again, with this being at the bottom of the deck in correlation to the other bottom of the deck energy, it almost feels as if you're being asked not to go it alone, not to do probably what you normally would do, and be very isolatory in a sense. Spirit wants you to be connected to others. They want you to feel connected. And this could be, again, something that you tend to sabotage because of the environments that you have been used to in the past. We've talked about, comfort staying and staying somewhere because it's a false sense of comfort, because challenging yourself to step outside of this known environment is much, much more terrifying than just knowing what you already have to face where you're at. Such a specific message. I know that, because I'm saying it, pile number one, I feel like you know how this applies to your sensual energy. Again, we started this reading off knowing that it wasn't about relationships. It wasn't about being in a relationship and how that sensual energy is being expressed from you, especially because you chose the rose quartz as your crystal in connection to the wolf. This is about what you're bringing to yourself, what you're adding to yourself in order to feel more pleasurable, in order to feel like you're not sabotaging your pleasure. This is everything. This has everything to do with it in that way, especially, again, even if you are the type of person to focus on your career and focus very hard on what you provide for other people rather than your pleasure. This is something that is a sabotaging habit that you are interested, eager to release and let go of. You could have grown up just being told, other people's pleasure, their needs and wants come before your own, and that's been very detrimental to you. You haven't known how to shift from that knowing or that perspective that other people have placed or conditioned you to believe in. And so you're at this place in your life where you're releasing what you have used to sabotage yourself and gaining pleasure. Let's see what else. An affirmation for pile number one, please, in regards to their pleasure and their intimacy. Pile number one. It's flying out for you. I'm going to read the bottom of the deck, of course, in 1 second. Okay. Yes. Instead of worrying about the future, I know all is well when I'm aligned in the moment. So a part of your more pleasurable energy in your life right now is going to be able to stay present. Lots of purple with the crown chakra here and now in your affirmation as well. Lots of purple, just an intuitive, you're intuitively releasing worry and anxiety about the future because you know that your focus is on alignment. And every time you think about that word, you remember that word, it brings you not only to the present, but it connects you to your body and it connects you to your spirit and then how your spirit is interacting with the spirit of the world. I think this is a very much like a very large telling to how this is a spiritual ascension or a evolvement for you in your life, not just in regards again to the physical, but an energy is changing in your life. And this is the kind of energy, if I can be very honest, because we were talking about pleasure, this is the kind of energy that can feel orgasmic without anyone having to touch you, because it's energy. It's energy. And I think you've been doing a very, very good job of cleansing your energy in order for you to feel, especially in intimate connections with other people. You feel it in the energy first. You don't just feel it in your body, pile number one. And that energy enlivens you. It awakens you. It makes you want to hunt. You maybe are like a very assertive energy, because the wolf does not, again, sit and wait for food to be brought to it. They go out and they get it. And so I feel like this is how you interact with other people. You come off very strong, even if inside you're very emotional and sensitive to past and previous experiences. You come off very strong, very, I know what I want, and I will work and wait for what I want especially with the season here, like you will wait for a good meal to make itself known. You will wait for a good thing to be ready. But you won't wait too long. I don't feel as if you are a person who waits around for no reason. You wait around for like the really good stuff, the really nurturing stuff. And in the midst, again, of waiting, Spirit is asking you to release worry that that thing won't find you, or that you won't find that thing that you have been not desperate, but just like eager for. At the bottom of the deck, it says, when I merge my desire with faith, I can take action from a place of peace rather than control. This is really big for you, pile number one, I feel like, because you are a person who holds a lot of desire. You have a lot of energy, and it feels very strong, very passionate. And so mixing that with faith makes you almost unstoppable. You feel like you can take action with peace of mind rather than trying to control things and make things happen, or try to speed up the process of, or speed up the alchemical process of anything. So you're really, really, really in this beautiful state of, I can't rush it, and I don't want to, because I know if I take my time, if I focus with intention on my healing while other things are unfolding, the pleasure is tenfold. Something is coming into your life that will not only help with this healing, but like encourage it. Something is encouraging you to shed, to express, and to be. I'm going to look into the tarot now. And today I am going to be shuffling with the Black Queer Tarot. So in this deck, there's going to be possibly more nudity, even more than what you can clearly see here, but not in a crude way. It's a very beautiful deck, very beautiful, and I'm so excited to use it. So let's see how the pleasure, how the intimacy is changing in pile number one's life. What will be affected? What will be changing? I'm gonna keep shuffling. Let's just keep going. Number one, please, Spirit. Thank you. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Chariot. Love it. So the first tarot card that you have out is the King of Cups. So I feel like this is definitely your energy, pile number one, because in the Wolf, I just sense a lot of assertive, a lot of yang, a lot of masculine energy. And we have the King of Cups showing up as someone who is very mask presenting, almost non-binary. And the King of Cups tells me that you are a very heart-centered person. You're definitely a person who's emotionally connected, or just connected to your emotions in a way that others may not be. You move with your heart. You lead with your heart. And again, the Wolf, and sensing you moving away from another pack or unaligned energy in a way, it is because you are meant to be the leader that you have wanted in others, that you've wanted to see in others. You have the possibility, you have the capability. You are a person who steps up to tasks if it needs to be done. You don't get emotionally overwhelmed too easily. Like, you're very sure-footed in that way. And especially with the Chariot being a water ruled card and talks about movement as well, I feel like you are making changes, very aligned changes in your life, in order to incorporate more pleasure and listening to your heart first. It's like you're so done with aligning to things that don't make the heart feel good, that doesn't make your energy feel good. I told you, or I mentioned at the earlier part of your reading that you definitely are a person. When it comes to sensuality, you have to feel it in certain areas before you can act on it. And it's definitely your heart and it's definitely your spirit. The energy has to be aligned. I feel like at this point, no longer just solely listen to your heart because it has wounds, it has been hurt, it has this healing process that it's going through. But with your faith, with your intuition combined, it's unmatched. The things that you have manifested in your life. Speaking of manifestation, you have the 9 of Cups. These cards, I will leave the tarot deck link down below because it is so stunning. But we were talking about you being an emotional leader, and look at what comes out, but more cups. And so this 9 of Cups is beautifully depicted because there's something that you are desiring. There is some pleasure that you are looking to manifest. And the 9 of Cups tells me that it is being manifested for you right now. And there's a wish being fulfilled. And so it's not immediate with this season. We know still there is a process. There's a process that you're going through. And it has a lot more than you probably think to do with your healing and where you are holding yourself back or where you still doubt yourself emotionally. But nonetheless, these things are still manifesting for you. Just because you have healing, I want to be very clear, pile number 1 does not mean that your manifestations will never be able to make it to you or that they won't. And letting that worry go will actually remind you of the beautiful things that are taking place in your life. It's like, it could be that you're looking for something specific, but there's many beautiful things that are manifesting in your life right now. So this could be just people, being able to share in good energy with people, because Cups is the emotion. It is the heartstring. And to be able to, be in energy, good energy with other people, it does affect our hearts. It makes it softer. It makes us more vulnerable. It makes us lighter, almost happier even to be able to be in good connection with other people. And I think that's a part of what you are manifesting right now. It's like, I want to take all this pleasure that I'm building and I worked really hard for in myself. And I also just want to, share in that energy. Even though these cup cards are two just like solitary individuals, it doesn't mean that you cannot be interested in wanting to share with other people, because that's just what the Cups energy gives. Even if you are a more isolatory being, we can of course experience pleasure by ourselves, but I feel as if you just want to do it with other people in a nice, healthy, balanced way, in a way that hasn't been before in your life. Let's see what else. You have the Ace of Wands. Wow. How beautiful. The Ace of Wands can definitely signify to new, pleasurable energy coming into your life. It's a spark. So you will be ignited. You will be feeling very excited about something new that is coming into your life. It's going to come quickly. It's going to be something that you wished for, but you wished for the feeling. You didn't know how the feeling was going to come about, but this thing that you wished for, it brought it. And again, the Ace of Wands next to the 9 of Cups and the King of Cups. Pile number 1. The healing may feel heavy right now, but on the other side of it, there is a new beginning. I feel like you could not have imagined that is going to be igniting a new layer of desire and pleasure from you. Let's see what else, Spirit. What else can we see about the energy of their pleasure and how it's shifting at this time? The 4 of Cups. Wow. So beautiful. I'm telling you, this deck. So the Four of Cups tells me that, and in regards to the Chiron, which is where the card will be placed, there have been unsatisfactory moments. So much cups. I just realized it's another cups card. There have been unsatisfactory emotional moments in your life. And this is just confirmation. It has left you feeling like you don't want to try again in some cases. Like you don't want to expose yourself to energy that may possibly be unaligned. But Spirit wants you to know, again, as you're trusting your heart, which you should trust your heart to make decisions for you when you know that it's coming from a place of alignment. And pile number 1, because you are so spiritually aligned, so in tune with your emotions, I feel like you know very clearly what that feels like because of the disappointments you faced in the past. And so just because those disappointments happened, does not mean that they will continue to reoccur, because you're doing things differently. You're moving with a different kind of intention. And so you have to let the past disappointments go. You have to decide not to worry about what has already happened, what has already gone wrong, what has already left you feeling the way that you're feeling. But again, if you feel as if that energy of disappointment is still there, then what in your life currently is still in existence that makes you feel that way? Especially if it's a certain person. Is that relationship still in your life? Like, is that energy of that relationship still in your life? And why? Why? If that makes sense. The Four of Cups is complicated because there could be one situation or any situation for you, pile number 1, that you're wanting to take the energy from and transform it. You don't want that past to affect you so strongly anymore. You don't want even Spirit to feel as if you are ungrateful for the things that are taking place in your life. So the Hangman was at the bottom of the deck, and then it now appears to you fully in your reading. So you are in a process of stillness, of reflection, of perception, regenerating. You are absolutely changing your perspective on something. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Swords. You're changing your perspective on something because it's needed. It's necessary. You want to not only be sure of your heart, but also sure of your mind as well. And knowing what you see and how you process what you see is in alignment with what is actually happening, if that makes sense. So the Hanged Man, it just lets you know that even if you feel like you are stagnant, and I mentioned movement and you don't feel aligned to that, that is because you are still in a process. You are still in stillness, and the stillness is for a reason. It's for you to process through all of the emotions, not just some of them, not just the good ones, but every emotion that shows up as important for you is meant to be processed and analyzed in a way that is not overthinking, that does not leave you, again, going to those common same old habits that you're used to that leads you to sabotage in any way. So I have a few more cards for you. I want to look, I'm actually not going to do this deck. I'm going to look to see how you are feeling about these changes that are taking place in regards to your pleasure. And then I'm going to look at the deck that I just had and how you can gain and hold on to an unshakable peace in regards to what these feelings might be bringing up. So let's see. Let's just see pile number 1. How are they feeling, Spirit, about pleasure and the pleasure in their life. Thank you. And then, of course, bottom of the deck, we'll read it. So let's see. You have the feeling humiliated. You are somewhat embarrassed about how you appear to others. Are those thoughts accurate? You survived the moment and it has made you stronger. So we talked about how you appear to others in regards to like your healing, and that being something that you're really looking to release. You want to let go of what has happened in the past that has left you humiliated or embarrassed. You want to release it so that you no longer believe that these things are true. You want to know that you survived, that you overcame the situation, that it didn't leave you scarred, that it didn't leave you broken. You want to regain your self, your identity of self. You want to be cleansed of this it feels like very specific, either relationship or situation. And this is absolutely what is taking place for you right now. Again, in the Hangman perspective, you are looking at what is not true about you, and you're telling yourself, this was never meant for me to carry, and I am free to let it go in order to reclaim my pleasure. At the bottom of the deck, you have judgmental. It displays a lack of self-love when you judge others. Their story is unique and so is yours. Embrace the differences and see the values in others. So I think that this is a big part of your healing. Pile number one, you have found yourself, and let's be honest, we all do it, judging other people. Even when we've never met a person and we see them face first and we know nothing else about them, we make small judgments in our mind about who this person could be or what they're bringing into our life, or not, And so in those energies, you're not able to actually grow your self-love when you are judging others. Their story is unique. Your story is unique. And if you find that it's hard to embrace other people's differences, I think Spirit is calling you to look and to see how that has been done to you, how other people could not accept your differences, and how you had to move intuitively away from that. And how you don't want to do that to other people. So let's see this last and final card for you, pile number one, and how you can embrace just unshakable peace in regards to the changes that are taking place to your sensuality. Pile number one, please, Spirit. Thank you. All right. Love that. And of course we'll read the bottom of the deck, but go really into this card. This is your final card, pile number one. And you have the card 25 with it's all in divine order. Allow. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? Okay. So a lot of letting go of control, a lot of going with the flow of life and relaxing. So your pleasure is going to come to you as you relax. It's going to be present. It's going to be vibrant in your life. Whatever you find pleasurable will find you. And you don't have to go. And I know what we mentioned, because you are on the hunt, you're on the prowl, but you don't have to, if that makes sense. I'm not asking you to change your authentic nature. Do, of course, whatever feels comfortable to you, but as long as there is flow, then that is how you know that you are aligned and that you're not making moves or movement out of worry or stress or fear. So that is for you to reflect on at this time. At the bottom of the deck, you have 29, deep inward journey. You'll be rewarded for the work. How can you alchemize your fear? So you are being challenged. You're being challenged and also rewarded for the hard emotional work that you are doing, how you are alchemizing certain life lessons in your life and rejecting what needs to be released. Pile number one. I really truly do hope that you enjoyed this intuitive reading about how pleasure and intimacy is changing in your life. It was different for me and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Serpent card with the clear quartz crystal. I'm going to leave the card where it is because if I move it, there's just going to be explicit images that I cannot show on YouTube. So we're going to leave the card facing where it is and how it is, and I'm just going to get into your reading. So this reading is about your pleasure and your intimacy and how it is changing in your life right now. And I feel as if you have a lot of third eye activations happening in regards to going after your pleasure. And I do say it as going after because you have the serpent. And as I mentioned in pile one, this is an animal or the archetype of an animal that is not necessarily one to wait for what it is that they want. They go after it. They go and they get it. And so you may be going through a similar activation of feeling certain energy call to you and wanting to follow where you're being led at this time. And it's all in regards to gaining more pleasure in your life. So I'm going to see in the oracle, through the oracle, how this energy is shifting and changing for you. Thank you. You have the 5th house with passion. Yes. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the 9th house with seeking. And it all makes sense as we get into the reading. Pile number 2. You're a very passionate being. You could have a lot of like 5th house placements in your natal birth chart. But either way, you're passionate, you're creative. You could be an entertainer, someone, you don't necessarily use your sensuality to entertain, like with OnlyFans or any kind of service in that way, but you're a very creative person. And so that sensuality comes through your creations in any way that you choose to express it. So you could be the type of person who likes to dress up, who likes to do very Leo or Leonian things to make yourself feel good, look good, and express pleasure and joy to other people. You like parties, you like, certain environments that give that energy of dancing clothes, dark, and this doesn't look dark, but dark environments, maybe a disco ball is involved. I'm not really sure, but it's very romantic. It's very passionate. You are a being that thrives on sensuality and passion. It has to be passionate sensuality. It can't be quiet or hidden. It is out loud. You are a very out loud kind of person. And that's how you like to get down with certain things. So I'm going to see even more into the energy at the bottom of the deck, with this being the seeking, which we talked about in the serpent energy. This is a spiritual and otherworldly kind of seeking. You are very interested in foreign travel or just traveling in general. You want to experience certain cultures, and that's very pleasing to you. You find a lot of pleasure in this. And I think at this time, you're going to have a lot more opportunity to go on adventures and to seek a higher wisdom or education of some sort. So in regards to your pleasure, you like to learn, you like to experience, but in a more Sagittarian kind of way, not necessarily school or structured learning in that way, but through experience, through faith. You just like going out on a limb and experiencing something and trying to absorb as much about that experience as possible. You have a lot of aspirations in regards to traveling abroad, experiencing worldly things. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected to religion, but it's a spiritual seeking that you are seeking. So some of you may have very well booked that flight and you're very eager to see where it takes you. Some of you may, may have started a new beginning in regards to like not just career, but with the journalism here, it's almost as if you have gone out of the way to document certain experiences that you've had in your life because they have been so otherworldly, so passionate, so wow factor almost. And so that's the energy that you're living in right now. Very exciting. I'm on the go. I'm seeking. I'm experiencing, and whatever crosses my path is meant to be an experience. It's meant to be experienced safely, of course. So let's see what else the energy wants you to know about your pleasure and how it is changing. Yes. So I saw these energies for you while I was shuffling, and now they want to come out for you. You have the energy of conquer and strive. So this is a card that flew out onto the floor. Conquer. You're conquering something. You are overcoming something. With the trophy energy, it is something that you've had to prevail over in order to claim your victory. With the checkered flag, you're finished. There's something that you're just crossing the threshold with, and you're very satisfied by it. It took you a lot of courage to overcome something in regards to gaining more pleasure. With the bamboo element here, you are introducing a lot of longevity and strength into your life. There's something that you're, being very flexible with, even though you're grounded in the idea of achieving. So this is very interesting energy in correlation to the strive, because you have the trophy twice. Success is guaranteed to you in regards to something that you're striving for and something that you're very eager to conquer over. You are definitely reaching a peak. You're reaching a goal, and it is something that you have been in pursuit of for some time. You had to map it out. You had to plan it out. And it's not just like you aren't just beginning, you're actually now just finishing. And so with the acorn energy, you again have strength and you have potential. And in the potion, you have motivation. So you're very motivated at this time to achieve certain goals, to make things happen. For some reason, it could be that you're very passionate about a move that you could be making, and it could be overseas, out of state, in a new country. It's going to be very specific for a very specific person or people. But otherwise, I feel like there are a lot of good things that are actually taking place for you, and it is giving you more time to experience what you really want to experience. Let's see. We're going to look in the Show Me Oracle to see what is shifting for you at this time in regards to your sensuality and your pleasure. This is 2. Show me what lesson is needed and show me the career setback. Very interesting. Let's see. Let's keep shuffling. You could have a setback in your career and you're wanting to gain clarity on if there's something meant for you. But let's see what else the Oracle wants you to know about this. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay. So you have show me what to accept that flew out for you. I'll put it over here. Show me what to accept. And at the bottom of the deck, show me the root issue. Okay, so you are being shown at this time a root issue for you in regards to striving. in regards to conquering a certain challenge in your life. Again, this is all connected to your pleasure, how you are gaining more pleasure, how you are being more intimate in your life. And so there is something that you're needing to accept about something that has been rooted within you for some time that it's not necessarily affecting you. It's not affecting you because you're overcoming, you're achieving, you're conquering. There's so much language here, pile number 2, to let you know that you're making bounds and leaps forward and that you don't necessarily have to worry about misstepping because you are on the path of achievement for something that you really want and something that is really going to aid you in more pleasure in your life. Let's see, because I am not quite yet able to get a clear picture as to what this could be for you, other than like I'm looking for a very specific shift that may be taking place for you in your life. So let's see what the affirmation can tell you at this time about what to accept in regards to your pleasure. These came out 2 at a time, so I'm going to just keep shuffling because I want it to be very precise and clear. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. What is the affirmation that they need in order to embrace this pleasure? Very clear, please, Spirit. Or I'm going to pull it out. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yes, I love this. And of course, I'm going to read the bottom of the deck for you as well, pile number 2. But I feel like this is what you are conquering, and it is the past. I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. So very interesting because you are seeing something very differently at this time. It could be in regards to just like the intention that you've been putting behind trying to see someone differently. You could be feeling very passionate about someone because this is a card that signifies that this is not just a situation, it is a situation with a person for you in regards to your pleasure. And so you're going to accept very soon, I feel like in your life, you're going to accept that it is time to let go of something that has happened in the past. And if there's someone in your life who you know intuitively is meant to be in your life for a reason, you're going to choose to see them as if you were seeing them for the first time, but with the eyes of love. And I'm going to get into how this could be playing out in your life. At the bottom of the deck, you have, I am kind and loving toward others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. So something happened in the past where your boundaries were lowered and someone was let in. And the situation has changed the way that you viewed them. And so now, with clear boundaries, you are still this kind and loving person towards other people and even towards a specific person, but with clear boundaries. And that is you being able to protect your good feelings and your emotions because you have a lot of them with the 5th house energy. You have a very childlike, very exuberant energy. You're very excited, or you can have moments of being very excited and passionate about things. And that may have dampened in the past based on the previous situation, and you feel it awakening again within you. This could be something that you are afraid to express or to show to others because of the past and how they have mishandled your emotions, it seems. But if you are choosing to, even if it's like be with this person, you are understanding that certain past instances does not change who you are. and how you approach people with kindness and love. Very specific. I want to know more about your connection with the person and how that is evolving. And I may get into it. Let's prepare myself for that in case it does happen. But let's see in the tarot, pile number 2, how this is taking place in your life and how you're adapting to this change and accepting and embracing this change in your pleasure. I feel as if you want to share with this person. You want to share an energy with this person, even though you've had past experiences that, again, weren't the best. But I feel like you've conquered those situations. I feel like those situations no longer necessarily make you question yourself, but maybe it makes you question that person. And so now this is a situation where you have to look at them differently, because it's a choice. I feel like you're choosing to do so. I don't think that you would just be around a person after they hurt you just because. I feel like you want to be around this person. It's not necessarily like the easiest. You've had to have courage to put yourself back out there. But when you want something, like I mentioned, you go and you get it and you make that happen, not against someone else's will, but with their consent. Like, this person wants to also work with you and be with you as well. And so it's almost as if you're both conquering something from the past in order to live a happy and passionate life now. Or like you're finalizing, conquering over this. You have the Prince of Cups. So I forgot to mention I'm using the Black Queer Tarot deck. There will be a little cheekage. There will be a little skin shown. So with the sensual reading, I hope that that's not something that you mind, pile number 2. With the Prince of Cups or the Knight of Cups, you are, again, a go-getter. Action. You, even if it's slow movement, you take movement. You have the Moon at the bottom of the deck, and I saw that somewhere else. I think in the astrological deck, but it's okay. This is just signifying like a very emotional, a very intuitive time for you. But that's also depicted in the Knight of Cups as well. Because you have been listening so closely to your intuition, because you have been clearing out your heart chakra, you've been doing the emotional work. And so there are certain movements that you are excited to make in order to further romanticize your life. The Knight of Cups can talk about, a person, a watery, emotional person. They could be a water sign, doesn't have to be, coming into your life and reawakening something within you. But it does not have to be that. If that is not the case for you, pile number 2, you don't have to be keeping your eye out for a specific person. I think this is you in general, making certain moves that feel so right to you, but you may not fully know why. Because, the Prince, the Knight, they're very actionable. But I don't know how much thought that they necessarily put into the actions that they take, because they are so like, I'm on the move. And with this being like your central tarot energy, I think this highlights to what you're feeling at this time. Like, you want to be aligned with what feels right, even if you don't know what or where that looks like right now. It's fine for you. I don't think that you are necessarily worried, because any situation that you get into, you're sure to conquer it. Like, you're sure to overcome whatever stands in your way of peace, both peace and pleasure. So let's see. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. What and how is pleasure changing in their life? How is the sensual energy changing in their life? You have the Strength card. Yes, very beautiful. More of the Leo energy. You could be a Leo, but you don't have to be. The Strength card is telling me that you are a strong-minded individual. Maybe patience is not the easiest, but you do try your very hardest to find a good balance of ebb and flow in your life. And I think this is something that you are building your strength around. Again, you could even be doing something like practicing or building a practice, building a skill in order to bring more pleasure in your life as well with the strength in the 5th house. But in regards to this specific situation in your life that you are letting go of, it's going to take effort on your part, pile number 2. I'm sure that you would rather focus on the very beautiful things that are taking place in your life, the joy that you get to experience, following certain passions and dreams. But you also do have to remember that there is a past that you have experienced that, if not checked, if not looked at, or, analyzed in some kind of process, like there has to be an emotional process for you. If not, you are not going to be able to accept what has taken place. And so it's not easy. It's not necessarily aligned with the fun energy of the 5th house, even though it could be. You could take it into your hands to make this release process, to make this like healing process for you a bit more enjoyable. I'm just not sure how you would go about that, pile number 2. But with the Strength card, it's letting me know to let you know that there is nothing here that is going to take you out of your strength. There's nothing that can take your strength from you. There is nothing that can harm you in a way that has left you questioning yourself again. But it's in regards to this situation. Again, life has challenges. I want to make that clear. But this challenge, you're at the end of it. You're crossing that finish line. And I feel like it's closer than you think. The Wheel of Fortune lets me know that it is closer than you think, that there is certain things opening up for you at this time. So you could be having a lot of just opportunities show up for you. Again, things that you would rather give your energy to, rather focus on, and you can, and you will be encouraged to do so, while also doing your part of reflection and healing. And I don't feel, because there's not a certain healing card out here. I think you've been through a healing process, but there is a part of this reading, pile number 2, that tells me you're tying up loose ends. It could be in regards to like closure, but you're tying up loose ends. You're coming out of a cycle and you're being introduced into a new one. And with the major arcana cards here, it's lifelong, changes that you're making to your life based on how you want to feel. Let's see what else the tarot has to tell us. I feel like your reading has been a mixed bag of energy because you have a lot going on for yourself. You have a lot of things that you're being called to or drawn to. And the past is something that you are adamant about not letting, it stop you. You have the High Priestess here. So intuitively, again, another major arcana card. You are an intuitive. You are a person who moves with intuition, who does what you can, anything you can to listen to your intuition. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Page of Cups. And this is, again, another Cups energy. not just talking about the action that you take in life, but also how you are learning about yourself emotionally at this time, how you are taking the time to learn yourself, to learn emotional habits, to learn how pleasure has existed in your life in the past and how it has not, and how you want to explore more pleasure, but also be knowledgeable about pleasure. Like, what does it mean to please yourself? What does it mean to be pleased by another? And to be pleased properly, to be pleased in alignment with who you are and who you intuitively know yourself to be. So the High Priestess tells me that you, and with the third eye chakra, you are so connected. You are so connected to your third eye. You're connected to your spiritual team. You have been able to almost predict certain things for yourself in regards to like the closing of one cycle and the beginning of another. You've been able to sense these things, pick up on these things, pick up on what needs to be released, even though it's been a bit of an acknowledgement process for you. Because again, you've been busy, you've been moving around, you've been filling up that heart chakra and learning how to release. So it feels almost as if your cup is getting a little filled at this time, because you are going to experience a release. You're going to hold on to the good stuff, hold on to the passionate stuff, hold on to the very sensual, very heartfelt stuff, and use all strength, all courage that you can in order to release what isn't, what is just a shadow, what is just the past trying to replicate itself as something in your life, when it's really the really good stuff that is blossoming right now. Let's see pile number 2. What else? One final tarot card, please, for pile number 2. How is pleasure and intimacy changing in their life? I feel like, yes, you have been picking up on a lot. With the Ace of Pentacles, you know that there is something coming for you, especially in the physical realm, especially if you have just faced a cycle closing and it felt large, it felt important, it felt big. There is something new making its way into your life now after that release and that shedding. The Ace of Coins could be a new, financial opportunity. It could be a new material matter in general, where you have been brought on maybe to like a creative project. And this is something that you could have even manifested for yourself or just saw intuitively happening for yourself. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Four of Pentacles. So because this new beginning is fresh in regards to something, it could very well be financial in regard, like you're using your creativity to manifest something financial for yourself. You could be a creative entrepreneur or an intuitive entrepreneur. And as this is blossoming in your life, as this is taking place, again, things are closing and opening. Spirit is asking you to hold on to your resources intuitively. Use what you want when you need to, but especially if you don't need to, especially if there's nothing that you are in need of, Spirit is just saying that this is a great time to save, to invest in the things that matter, like energy. And this is a specific message for someone, especially if you are the type of person to give things to people monetarily because you feel like, that's what people need. Spirit is also asking you to look to see if you can invest more energy instead of material into certain relationships that you hold very valuable to you. But other than that, pile number 2, I'm going to look at your spread fully and make sure that because it feels as if I'm missing something. And it feels as if I didn't touch on this specific situation enough, just for my liking. So I'm going to actually look for clarifying cards for you. This is the Sex Tarot. And because the energy is so intimate and so sensual, I'm just going to use this deck to clarify how you are letting go of something from the past in order to see someone for the first time with the eyes of love. Let's see. Oof, my goodness. Too many. But this one flipped over. You have the Hierophant. So, very interesting. And the Eight of Wands, you have some kind of communication trying to come through. It could be like spiritual communication and confirmation about how you're meant to trust this situation. But the Hierophant here just tells me that there is something about this situation that is meant to teach you more than just first sight. You have to look deeply, I feel like, into this situation in order to reach a spiritual enlightenment. Because the situation from the past, again, take what resonates, but it was supposed to happen. It feels like in order for you to gain this understanding, this spiritual insight, because your third eye is popping. And like, I hope that you have gotten to this place where you trust it. Pile number 2, I hope that you've gotten to this place where you trust your sights, because it is spiritually aligned. And because of that, that is how this Ace of Coins is being introduced into your life as well. You have taken these higher learnings from this cycle to the new cycle that you are embracing and while you let go of the past. And it is bringing you a new bounty. The Knight of Swords, very interesting. You have another knight in correlation to the Hierophant. Again, just letting you know that you're going to be making a lot of moves. You're going to be curious and led by your curiosity. It's interesting because the Knight of Swords has a peeping Tom. It's someone who's very curious about what they have going on the inside. I'm going to show it to you. Yes, because there's nothing too explicit. They have people watching at the side, and I think this is how people are going to be very curious about you, but also you being curious about other things. Mental stimulation is something that you enjoy with the Swords energy here. I couldn't really pick up on what stimulates you other than, it being a very emotional thing for you as well. So you could be the type of person who feels stimulation full body, with highlight to your mind and to your heart, but you feel it everywhere when you are stimulated by something and when you feel passionate about something. And so this is even how you've been in the past. And this probably maybe was not the most accepted by other people or by the one. And maybe it is now. Maybe it's something that someone can actually appreciate about you now because it offers something to them in return. It offers them the ability to be more open-minded or free-minded about what they're curious about as well. And so you could be showing this to another person, like especially if something happened in the past and now you've been brought back together to show each other something different in life that's absolutely happening. There's someone here taking care of another. And I really do feel like it's your energy taking care of someone else's energy because they have not been able to embrace themselves as wholly, as fully as you have. So that's a very specific, very, very specific message that I just wanted to clarify for you, pile number 2. So I'm going to look at your feelings. I'm going to look and see how you're feeling about all of this that is taking place. Oh, very quick. Okay. Very quickly that it came out. Just to see how you're feeling about all of this changes and what's going on in your life. So you have the energy of confused. You're being pulled in 2 directions, but there is no confusion. You're going against what your higher self is trying to tell you. So you're feeling confused. You, again, are a person who taps in with you talk to your higher self as frequently as you can, because you know that the guidance is essential for you, especially the kind of spiritual life that you want to lead with the high priestess here. You know that the way to do that is to be connected with your higher self. And so you're confused, Spirit says, because you are going against something. It almost feels as if with this card that they're saying you're using your strength in almost counterintuitive way, and that there is more ease that's trying to be offered to you. It's almost like also that you're trying to manifest a life of ease is what I'm hearing, but you feel as if you should be working harder for it. At the bottom of the deck, you have irritated. Something about you needs to be healed if you feel irritated towards another person. What is that trigger? Let's journal about it, okay? So you will be called, yes, journalism and the 9th house and seeking. I was called to let you know to journal about the feelings that you are feeling based on the experiences that you're experiencing with the 9th house. And so that is confirmed for you, especially if you're feeling confused and you don't understand, even though you feel like a situation is basically coming to a close. It's like there's just a little bit more understanding for you to reach here. And again, this is all connected to your pleasure and your intimacy, pile number 1. So this is a close person to you, a close situation to you that you feel as if has muddled your sight, has muddled your third eye, and it has not. You are just coming into deeper understanding, if that makes sense. So I have one final card for you, pile number 2. Just a card to help you shake these feelings of confusion and irritation, and to embrace as much peace in your life as you possibly can. So you have at the bottom of the deck, you can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you, and your higher self is speaking to you very loudly through this message, pile number 2. What wisdom does your higher self have for you is the question at the bottom of the deck. And the card that came out for you is Oneness is the Way, with the number 42. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? Wow. It's such a specific message for you, pile number 2, to understand that you are being called to embrace oneness, to accept what you don't understand about another, and to move forward with that acceptance, because we're all different. We're all unique. We're all meant to live different lives and have different experiences. And the more that we understand that and not try to control it, but embrace it, the more we can live our own passionate and pleasurable life. Like, you are coming to so many understandings, pile number 2, about how someone else's pleasure cannot affect your own. You manifest your pleasure with the help of the universe and with spirit. And if you want someone to accept and understand you, I feel like that is a process that you are trying to do for another, is to accept and understand, and to work less and less against your higher self, but with your higher self, in order to have the most pleasure in your life, in order to work and live passionately, in order to gain from your passions, live like you want to live such a pleasurable life, but based in creativity. I think that this fifth house energy is very strong for you. And this is what your focus is on. And as you can hold that focus for that specific manifestation in mind, and also accept the past, heal and move forward, pile number 2. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it resonated and made as much sense for you as possible. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up, because I would greatly appreciate it, like so much. And I would love if you comment down below and let me know, and all of the other people who chose pile number 2, how this energy is moving through your life right now. And I will see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful amethyst crystal, which is going to be staying in place where it is right now because the image on the card is graphic. And speaking of graphic, I do just want to point out the obvious. This card may be very controversial for you in this reading, pile number 3. If you have chosen this pile, I do want to just start off by saying, the word and the messaging around this reading is going to reach you specifically how it needs to. But if you are someone who feels as if you cannot, let me just actually get into it. Your card, pile number 3, says the whore, okay? And so me, as a Gemini sun, I believe that language is essential, but I also believe that the context behind the language is just as essential as the words that people are using. So with the whore card here, I'm taking this word, as the author of the deck has as well, in order to reclaim what it is that has been a very derogatory term, and has meant to make the divine feminine feel as if her desires is too much of an ask, too much of a challenge for society to accept and to embrace. Meanwhile, the masculine gets to be as whorish as they want, right? So pile number 3, I just want to be very clear with you. Whether you use this terminology or not, this card has a purpose in this reading, and I'm going to get right into it. I've taken a brief moment to give you a chance and an opportunity to, remove yourself from this energy if it does not feel aligned. But for those who do feel connected to this word and want to know more about how your sensuality and your pleasure is changing, then this is the reading for you. So with the whore energy, we're already talking about it. We're talking about a change that is coming into your life, pile number 3, that is going to have you reclaiming something about yourself that you didn't know that you had to. I feel like you've just been existing in your energy as it is, doing as you please, following your gut instincts, following what leads you to pleasure, and what also puts you in this very creative mindset. And so I'm going to look into the energy about this change. And of course it is a specific change to me because you have the number 14 represented in the card, which breaks down to the number 5, which signifies a pivotal moment of change in your life. So I'm going to look into the astrology oracle to see what this change is going to be for you in regards to your pleasure and your sensuality in life. I feel like you have definitely been the type of person, or like archetype, because I viewed each one of these cards as archetypes for you guys. You are the type of person who has been judged in the past for your pleasure, who has been criticized, and that has been difficult for you, I think, in your reclamation process because of the shame that other people have made you feel as if was your own, and it was not. So let's see, astrologically, please, Spirit, what pile number 3 is going through during this change. Thank you. Yes, I saw something very emotional try to come out for you. So you have the moon at the bottom of the deck. You have the 5th house. Very lovely. We're going to acknowledge and get into all of the energies. But for you, pile number 3, the moon tells me that you, again, have a lot of feelings around just this word, just this, what people call you or have called you. You have a lot of feelings around this phrase, this terminology, the whore. There is a certain instinct, I feel like, that comes from you where you feel maybe defensive of your pleasure and your joy when people use certain terminology that doesn't feel aligned to you. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, when I think of the word whore and I think of what culture and society has placed on that terminology, it feels like is a bit overwhelming for you, which is what it feels like to me. It's like, why is the feminine deemed so harshly when you are also like such a such a soft yin energy. You don't have to be gendered. You don't have to be a woman or identify as a woman for these things to still be very true about you. I feel like you're very sensitive, again, around your pleasure and how other people perceive it and perceive you, and how other people have perceived you in the past based on what you've shown and, been vulnerable to open up to about. It's like people have seen you be this very passionate person, and underneath you are very emotional as well, a very emotional being, a very sensitive person who, likes to do some things, likes to have pleasure, likes to be as freaky as they want. But that is, again, still deemed as something that shouldn't be in your energy. So there's a very intuitive time coming up for you, and I'm going to look and see why it is important for you to be tapping into your intuition right now. But Spirit is asking you to trust certain gut reactions that you're having, especially when it feels as if something may be disrupting your comfort, looking as to why that is. So the moon card also talks about home and the family, and a lot of conditioning that has happened in that environment. And I feel like this is something that you are looking to change, that you are looking within this change in your life to change. Because you don't necessarily want to be conditioned. You want your decisions and your movements and your choices to feel very natural to you, and to feel as if you have made the decision and you're not hearing someone else's voice in the back of your head. And so I think this is something, again, especially when you hear certain words, it's not something that you have deemed negative. It's not something that you have deemed as just not appropriate. It's what you've heard other people say. And of course, the moon is connected to the mother, as the sun is normally, or Saturn is normally connected with the father, the yin versus the yang energy. And so this could be, you have a mother who has very strong viewpoints on pleasure and sensuality. And growing up with that influence, it has affected you heavily. It has quite possibly stifled your passion, with it being on the bottom of the deck. It has not felt aligned to you emotionally, how someone else views the world and views people. But let's just face it, women, there's someone in your life who views women as a certain way, or they should be a certain way. And if anyone who's acting outside of that own way and embracing their own pleasure is considered a whore, and that is considered something negative. I feel like this is a big, big shift for you, and you're going to be feeling things so emotionally. You'll feel as if there are mood swings that are happening to you, and you're like, well, what is going on? Why do I feel so passionate about this one thing? There's something, I feel like, underneath those questions for you to analyze and look at. Pile number 3. So with the 5th house being at the bottom of the deck, You are a very creative and passionate person. You are someone who expresses through the way that you look, the way that you dress up. And it stood out as important for me to mention. And I feel like this is the energy of why, because before I started recording your pile number 3, I decided I want to put on, some jewelry. I want to adorn myself in a certain way. And I even decided to put on some fragrances. Even though I'm going to be the only one smelling me, I wanted to open up that sensual energy just for myself and to have it involved in the reading and the energy of the reading as well. So I feel like you are someone who is in that similar sense. Like, you like to smell good, you like to look good, you like to feel and express your joy and your pleasure in certain things. So this also is talking about like you being kind of like a partier, or like to be in the party environment. And that can be small and intimate, or going out to clubs. Everyone's going to be different, but you like certain environments where pleasure and joy thrive. And that can be in the darkness, again, of a club, of somewhere with like music and just good times overall. You are a good times individual. You like them, you love them. And you also have this like childlike energy about you as well. Very humorous, very like, people, when they see you, they see this light coming from you. And your laughter can even be very noticeable to other people. And when you are pleased, you may express that through laughter. And there's also a big romantic or romance aspect with the 5th house as well. So we'll look and see if that comes up more for you in the energy. Let's see what I get to choose which card is next for you. So we're going to look and see what else Spirit is trying to show you. No, we're not. We're going to choose another deck. Bear with me, pile number 3. I get to decide, and I chose this one instead. So we're going to look and see what the Oracle wants you to know about these feelings that are coming up for you amidst your change, amidst you embracing more of your sensuality and less of what other people are saying about your sensuality. So I feel like you're probably being a little more seen at this time. Probably more seen than you would like to be. With the moon being something that only comes out at night. So, but still, depending on if the moon is full or not, the moon can still be very visible. I'm not sure why that was important to mention, but I feel like you are just wanting to be seen by a certain environment, even of the more moon-like people who also like to move in the shadows and play in the shadows and something like that. But so you have the season card, and this has come out for one other group, but it is a great indicator of how there is something marinating in your life at this time. I feel as if you are looking to create something. And in this creation, you are being asked to go a little bit further with it, to endure the process, even if you feel as if you're very hungry for something, very eager for something to happen or to come out of whatever it is that you're creating. There's a bit more of a cooking process. So you're adding more ingredients to what it is that you are trying to process or to create, again, to show or express to another person. And there is just more required. There's just a bit more time required in order for you to add some final details to something as well. At the bottom of the deck, you have Attempt with the card, or it says Cordyline terminalis, which I believe is the plant that is on the body. And it says good luck. You have good luck at the bottom of the deck, and the potion is bravery. Okay, so you could be trying to attempt something. You are in the process of making something happen, and you do have good luck on your side, but this good luck is represented through you taking a brave and maybe unusual action, something that you're not normally used to. I feel as if you are going to be channeling a lot of your passion, a lot of your excitement in order to make something happen. And it's just not that exact moment for that thing to happen. So let's see. Now let's get into what Spirit is really trying to show you in regards to your pleasure and your intimacy changing. This season card, it feels like you are preparing for something, like some kind of, what I see in my third eye, pile number 3, is you preparing for something almost like a photo shoot or something like that's private to you, but you are going to be expressing something along with the photo shoot, if that makes sense. So take what resonates, pile number 3. This could be like a coming out post where you are finally feeling more of like you're embracing yourself, even if no one else can. And okay, so this is coming out twice. You have show me my divine purpose, and then it says show me my fulfillment, and I want to keep both. I actually really do. So I'm going to. I feel as if, I'm going to just put these here. I feel as if you have wanted to be fulfilled. You have wanted to find your purpose for some time now. You have quite possibly done things in order to emotionally fulfill another person, to make them feel at ease, to make them feel as if you are comfortable, to make them feel as if you had found your purpose, even though something within you said, I have not. And so in this season card, in connection to your fulfillment and your divine purpose, you are actually in that right now. Whether you, again, have expressed it to another fully or not, you are feeling more fulfilled and you have some sense of purpose that is opening up as you continue to explore your creativity and your feelings around your creativity, it feels like. So let's see. At the bottom of the deck, you have show me the best outcome. And this bottom of the deck, along with the good luck that you have with the attempt card and passion, I feel like you are coming up to a very, very good outcome in regards to you, again, attempting something. It's not right now, because the season card feels almost like detrimental for me to let you know to continue to keep going with what you're doing, and to not assume that something is finished before it is, if that makes sense. That's probably a message for a very specific person, of course, because this is the energy is different for everyone. The moon, in regards to how it operates in the world, it changes zodiac signs every 2 to 3 days. So there is something that's moving more quickly in your life. It could have more to do with your internal rather than the things that are happening to you externally. A lot of emotional realizations quickly for you. And this is not an overwhelming kind of quick. It is more so just aha moments with your chest. You're feeling it in your heart center. And this is heavily connected to your creativity and your purpose. I feel like you take your emotions and you put it in. You put it into what you are doing, to what you're creating. And it is very, very fulfilling for you. You get a lot of pleasure out of it, because these emotions may have been so overwhelming that they no longer needed to be held in your body in the first place. And so to release that feels very pleasurable to you even as well. And again, with the more so like derogatory term of the whore, I feel as if I'm also hearing people say, like, how dare, even if they don't say this to your face, okay, be very clear with, with me, pile number 3, this is another take what resonates moment. But it almost feels as if this other person is like, how dare she let go of this? How dare they let go of my dreams for them, or my feelings about how they should exist and how they should move in this world? How dare they live in their existence and in their pleasure and be fulfilled, and all these things. I feel like you are struggling with someone else's expectations of how you should exist. I'm going to look at a affirmation for you at this time in order for you to more so be comfortable with this changing process and the reclamation that you're going through in regards to your feelings and even your body. Even just like reclaiming authority and autonomy over your own body. Let's see. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. What is their affirmation? Let's see. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Thank you. You have. Ooh, I haven't seen this card before, I don't think. At the bottom of the deck, you have happiness is my birthright, period. No matter who birthed you. Pile number 3. Happiness is your birthright. Happiness is their birthright as well, but they may not know that as strongly as you do. When I'm grateful for what I have, I can feel good along the way to what I desire. Yes. So you are claiming your gratitude in this phase of pleasure and desire. You are grateful for what you have, and you want the universe to know. You want spirit to know, and you want to continue to connect with those things that you're already grateful, so that you can be connected to things that you desire, that you still are in want of. You are, again, I feel like this card gives me like very passionate energy as well, with this like little pieces of red here and the hues of pink and fuchsia, and even your intuition with the purple here connected to the moon. You have a lot of energy kind of just like swirling around you, and at your core you feel gratitude, especially for the things that you have overcome and that you have shed, and the things that have not been able to emotionally manipulate you. You're grateful. You're so grateful that you've been able to shed those things and overcome. And so what you desire, I feel like, is even more emotional fulfillment. And it could be in regards to certain connections in your life, because we're going to look at the tarot and we're going to look deeply into what it is that is changing. We know how you are changing, but what about your pleasure is changing? What are you embracing more of? And gratefulness, gratitude is a part of that. You are, it feels like I can say this safely. You are happy, pile number 3, but you want to be able to grow this happiness. You want to be able to live in it and play in it. You want to be happy unapologetically. You want to be happy and not fearful that your happiness will wash off or will go away somehow. So let's see what the tarot wants you to know. Before we start, we have the world at the bottom of the deck. So beautiful. What does the tarot want pile number 3 to know about pleasure and their intimacy? Please, Spirit, how is their intimacy and pleasure changing? Yes, more intimate relationships for you. Pile number 3. And it's taken some time for you to grow these in your life, because I feel like you may also be a very like cautious person to connect with others. Let's see. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Yep. We'll take 2. All right. 5 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We'll get into it. Let's see what else. The Magician and the 9 of Wands. Ooh, the imagery is so beautiful. We're gonna go one by one. So the Magician. Oh, I love the Magician, and I love this card in this deck. This is a person who is a master creator. And let me be clear, not the master creator, not the source of all things. The Magician is someone who is able to connect to that source and to go upon the source, to meet the source wherever they are at, and to manifest with a clear mind and clear energy and a clear heart. So that's why I really love the Magician, because they are the type of person, sometimes they are not completely aware of how they are manifesting. Depending on the card, you can see the Magician pointing their wand into the air and pointing a hand down to the earth. And my right hand is itching, so I feel like there's something that you could be receiving soon, pile number 3. But it is due to this manifestation. It is due to your intentionality. And that's what I was trying to point out. It's like you feel as if you are being very intentional about the thing that you are trying to create in your life. You want to release, I think, a certain belief system in the midst of this manifestation process. Like you no longer, let's just throw out a few different phrases. I don't feel as if you any longer believe that the word whore is a derogatory in the sense that it takes away from you. So if someone were to use this word towards you, you would be like, okay, well, you use this word and I feel as if you're using it to hurt me. But what I'm taking from this is that you are an individual who wishes that you could live your life in a similar sense, to be free and in a way that makes you feel liberated and a way that makes you feel angry. And so now you want to try to use certain language towards me, but it literally cannot hurt me anymore. You don't have the power to hurt me anymore, because I am so aware of the divinity that I have brought into my life. It's like you're able to, the moon card talks about self-soothing. You're able to soothe yourself by knowing yourself and knowing the energy that you're bringing into a room and into any situation. Pile number 3. So you're not as easily affected or hurt by another person's opinion. The 9 of Wands, it talks about a resilient person, a strong person, a person who's been through a lot, a person whose environment and, they've fought for it. They've gotten a little beat up by it. Normally the 9 of Wands is someone who in the traditional Rider-Waite is depicted as a person who's bandaged up, their arms, hurt, their head is hurt, and they look like they've been through it. But this 9 of Wands is a person who has overcome all of that just based on listening to their heart, because they're holding 2 hearts. And I am unsure of how the author wanted this to be depicted, but it's almost as if you are alchemizing the pain that you have went through in order to manifest a new heart, a heart that feels less heavy, a heart that feels less battered, less connected to old wounds from the past. And with the 5 of Wands at the bottom of the deck and the 9 of Wands connected to the moon feelings, and that being, the moon ruling over all things that correlate with the mother, you get into these disagreements or these situations that are hostile with a feminine figure in your life because of the way that you, again, represent the way that you have just fought for this identity in life, and other people not being able to appreciate that, wanting to combat you, wanting to put you back into that box of conformity, or not wanting you to express your true and authentic self because it makes them, again, uncomfortable with the reality that everything is not as black and white in their life as they want it to be, because that's not how the world works. So I feel like this is a lot of what you are overcoming in order for pleasure and intimacy to shift and change in your life. It's like you are fighting so hard for it, or have fought so hard for it, and that energy is still around you at this time, wanting to be released, I feel like. And how are they going to release it? Please, Spirit. Yes. Ooh, through your abundance. Through your abundance. Pile number 3, you have the 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of Coins. Wow. So you're combating it, but like, just look at your chosen family around you, celebrating you and your abundance. It's like you are combating all of this through community, through building with a community, through trusting your community, I think leaning on them. In the past, I think you fought this. You fought being in community or just around other people, because you felt as if, and it's possible. All of these energies are different for everyone, but it's possible that you have just felt so combative all of your life. Like, you just felt like everyone's going to have to be like this because this is just how people are. And I feel like your community has shown you something different and continues to show you something different. And so what you are building around yourself in regards to like legacy, in regards to your career, is actually going to be more emotionally connected to you than you believe, because that's how you manifested it. That's how you manifested it. So again, what has started off as something as like career for you is going to becoming chosen family. As you let certain guards down, as you let certain people in, making choices to be vulnerable and open with other people, to choose to make a choice to be in connection and to build with other people. You don't have to put it all on your back either. You can just build with other people. 4 of Coins, honey. And the Ace of Coins at the bottom of the deck. So you do have something new coming into your life with the Ace of Pentacles being at the bottom of the deck, but we'll just talk about the 4 of Pentacles first. And even with all of the abundance that you are building in your life, the 4 of Coins still talks about being responsible in a way that leaves you saving and leaves you investing, not hoarding or holding on to money out of fear, or holding onto possessions out of fear, but just waiting to make a certain purchase or make a certain investment until you know that it's what you want to invest in, until you're certain and you know. And so the 4 of Pentacles is a beautiful energy to let me know that you're looking at investments differently at this time. You really want to only do things that please you, and maybe these things are a bit more extravagant or on the extravagant side. And so you don't want to deny yourself of these things, but you do want to make sure that you can build without having to play catch up and enjoy to the fullest. And that is something that is absolutely developing in your life. You are going to have many financial opportunities to build your legacy and to build your wealth over your life, pile number 3. And so if you feel as if like time is ticking and you feel things like passing you by, just remember that you are slowly building towards something. And nothing, even though things are very instant in our society today, nothing that you want to build, that you want to create, and that you want to be, lifelong standing, no matter what it is, you want to take your time with it and make sure that you've paid attention to every detail that is important to you. And you get to do that as you slow down and you invest your time wisely, how you want to. Yes, thank you. And of course, the bottom of the deck is the moon. Wow. So you, in your natal chart, it feels as if you have very potent, very important, very strong moon placements. Like you could have your moon conjunct your ascendant, honestly, or like, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry. But like having very important moon aspects in your chart that make you feel things so deeply and so strongly that it's damn near intuition. You know, you just feel your intuition, if that makes sense. The Three of Wands is the card that flew out for you. And so I feel as if you are preparing yourself for some kind of journey. The Three of Wands is normally in the Rider-Waite deck depicted as someone who is, you know, taking a view of their surroundings in order to make their next movement. And I think this pairs beautifully with the Four of Pentacles because you are saving for this embarking, this journey, this new beginning that will be coming for you at some point in regards to your material world. And so this is something, slowing down, I think, is really pleasing you right now. Like you get to be very intentional about your resources. You get to be intentional about your planning. You get to fulfill all of your desires while you are planning. And I feel like even in this Three of Wands, you sense your purpose. You sense your purpose calling you somewhere to a new environment of some sort, but an environment that is still, it still has your energy. You've participated in something, and now you're going to participate even more in it in order to build this 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Coins. And at the bottom of the deck with the moon being here, it's again something that you're very emotionally connected to. You're emotionally connected to the things that you are building and putting so much energy into. You have intuitively sensed and mapped out what it is that you have been building and creating. You've been in touch with it emotionally this whole time. And it makes you very happy. It makes you happy what you're creating. It makes you happy what you're a part of. It makes you happy what you're building. It makes you happy to slow down again and be intentional. You have seen your manifestations like before your eyes. You blinked and they have appeared. Some things have happened with a lot more effort, with a lot more work, with a lot more attention to detail. But some things, it feels as if it just caught fire and like it grew so big. Like your fire grew so big. And that's the only way I knew how to describe that. But I'm going to continue even further and look and see how you are feeling at this time with the changes to your pleasure and intimacy, and the things that are just taking place around you quickly, but also slowly. So we're just going to look at these feelings really quick, and then we're going to look at how you can gain an unshakable peace around these feelings. So you have the feeling skeptical. You don't have enough facts to feel good about the situation. Spend more time learning and understanding the situation to feel sure about it. So there's something in regards to your pleasure shifting and changing, and you feel skeptical. You don't feel like you have enough information, and that could be how you feel like towards the end of this reading as well. You want to know, like, for a sure fact about a certain situation in your life. And Spirit is asking you to spend some more time learning and understanding the situation, because you I feel like you already have all of the facts that you need. It just doesn't necessarily make sense to you, and you're feeling a bit skeptical. At the bottom of the deck, you have aggressive, the feeling of aggressive. Was this a learned behavior? Do you feel this negative action can create happiness and joy? Intimidation also does not create a positive relationship. So I think I'm gonna break this down question by question, sentence by sentence. Was this a learned behavior? And again, we talked about conditioning versus authentic habits and authentic behaviors. So the aggressiveness that you feel towards a situation, is that normally how you would handle the situation? Is this normally how you feel that you would even advise another person to handle a certain situation, right? And so the next question, do you feel this negative action can create happiness and joy? So the action that you take, I feel like you are always, at this time, going to try to take certain actions that create happiness and joy. You don't want to do something opposite of that because you know that it's going to create opposite of what you're trying to manifest. And so you're releasing a lot of negativity, you're releasing a lot of negative thought patterns and habits in order to create a positive relationship with someone. You don't want to intimidate or be too much or come off so strongly. You want to come off as yourself, not as, the energy that has possibly overwhelmed you in the past. You want to dead all of that. Let's see. We're gonna look at this one final card for you and the bottom of the deck, of course, to see how you can shed the feelings of aggressiveness and your skepticality around the good things that are happening in your life. Let's see. How can they gain their peace in this changed spirit? How can they gain their peace during this change? Number 3. Wow. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to read both, of course. You are the joy seeker, and you have turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience at the bottom of the deck. I am going to read the bottom of the deck first. That's just what I like to do. And it says, what possibilities can you dream into reality? This is your whole manifestation process. I feel like you are bringing things into your reality as you release your worry and you explore your more curious side. You definitely are surrendering to more experiences, more aligned experiences in your life. And that is how these feelings are escaping from you, because you have been curious and done a little digging internally, and through that you are able to manifest like your truest desires, what you really want, by learning who you are. And what you're learning about yourself is that you are the joy seeker. Excuse me. So this last question wants to ask, what little victories can you celebrate? Okay, what small things can you celebrate about yourself and what you accomplish and what you have brought into your life? How can you celebrate those things and celebrate yourself without, again, compromising what you truly believe in and what you're truly trying to manifest? So if you're manifesting more stability, more, long-term abundance, then a way to celebrate yourself is through a non-financial matter, through something that highlights your skills or your gifts or your abilities that make you feel good. Maybe it's just looking at yourself in the mirror and celebrating how far you've come. But the situation will be different for every pile number 3. Either way, regardless, I hope that this reading was able to bring you some kind of clarity. I hope that you are in a state in your life where releasing feels pleasurable and feels good for you, pile number 3, and that this reading shows you all about that process. If it did, please give the video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. You chose the intuitive card. And while I was shuffling off camera, I saw a lot of 4 symbolism in your card. So you could be seeing 444 a lot. And you also have the number 13 represented in the intuitive card, which of course breaks down to a number 4. So you could be seeing that number a lot. But the intuitive card tells me that something about your pleasure and intimacy that is changing right now is something that is not going to be a surprise to you necessarily. You are an intuitive. It is clear. It is stated. Welcome. And you feel things. And so you could be clairvoyant. You could be clairaudient. You could be clairsentient, where you have a specific way your intuition speaks to you and moves through you, I guess, to other people as well. Or maybe your intuition is something that you use just for your personal life and not necessarily professional. It depends on you. And you are very, very, very intuitive. You just know things or feel things, and those things turn out to be true or some form of accuracy within your intuition. So I think your intuition is a big part of what pleases you, what brings you pleasure. And we're going to look and see how that is transforming for you at this time. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. How is pleasure and intimacy changing for them in their life? Let's see. You have the 7th house with relating or relations to other people. And at the bottom of the deck, you have Jupiter with expansion. So right off of it, what I am being told is that your relationships, the way that you relate to others, is expanding. Jupiter is expanding this aspect in your reading at this time. It could be that the transiting Jupiter in the sky, which I'm not sure what Jupiter is in at this current moment. I believe it's Capricorn, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be transiting around your 7th house at this time. Or in your birth chart, in your natal chart, you could have Jupiter in the 7th house. But this has to do with your partners and companionship, how you relate to other people, your relationships. So your best friend or your best friends. If you are married, this is something that is also relational and a part of the change that's taking place right now. You feel it intuitively. Your relationships are shifting. It could be that there is an opposition between you and another or other people in general. And it's meant to bring you an equilibrium. It's meant to bring you to a balanced state. The 7th house is ruled by Libra. And so you have the Libra scales here. And one thing I can say about the beautiful Libra energy is that they definitely are all about their relationships in the sense where they're trying to make sure that everybody's good. They want to make sure that everyone has a say, has been heard. Their feelings are, being expressed, and everyone is at an equilibrium. And that sometimes leaves the Libra person feeling themselves out of balance because they don't often get a chance to check in with themselves in this as well. So I feel like this is a large part of what is changing for you. You are definitely going to be in communion with people and sharing, communicating, just being in other people's energy and having other people's energy around you. And so this is also going to be calling a balance from you as well. You have to be aware of how much you are being social and if that is like how much you are being social, if that is healthy for you, or if you are, communing with other people in a healthy way that doesn't leave you exhausted and tired at the end of it, especially because you have Jupiter and because this energy is expanding. So what is already in existence in your life in regards to your relationships is growing, and you could have, more people coming in, or it could just be your existing relationships are expanding. You're knowing more about people and letting them know more about you, enthusiastically too. You feel good about this. You feel good about opening up. You're feeling very generous with your energy and sharing that with other people. And I feel as if this is like you just have luck on your side in general. So it's not to specifically say, oh, too much energy, you'll be overwhelmed. It's just to say finding a good balance brings you a lot of good feeling, where there's a positive give and take as well. So Jupiter is the ruling planet over Sagittarius. So Sagittarius has a lot to do with like foreign cultures and wanting to learn more about that. You could be very much so interested in like joining lectures. It could be virtual conferences or things like that, where you're learning a lot about other people's culture, and there's like this teaching aspect as well. So I feel like you are expanding in not only like relational to other people, but like your understanding of their cultures, your understanding of their backgrounds, of their history is also, it feels like, expanding for you. There's a lot of potential at this time for beautiful things to happen in your relationships. Let's see what else is changing in regards to your pleasure and your intimacy. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. What's changing in regards to their relationships and pleasure around their relationships? Oh, goodness. That really wanted to come out. Okay. But you also had another card that flipped out as well. Success. I'm going to put it back because the success will be very clear to you. They wanted you to know more about the Embrace card. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Beloved, which we are going to get all into the energy. Pile number 4. So with the Embrace card, you have a few different crystals that are represented in the energy, and you have the Calla Lily also. And so the Calla Lily is referencing your beauty and your admiration. So you are appearing to others as stunning, as just very magnetic. People are very magnetized towards you. With the Rose Quartz, it talks about acceptance and self-love. And the Sunstone, it talks about empowerment. And then the Citrine, it talks about a boost of confidence for you. And so at this time, I think you are absolutely learning how to embrace yourself. But again, it all comes back to being in relation to others, or one other specific person, a specific beloved in your life. You have at the bottom of the deck, Beloved, the card of Beloved with Rose and Divine Romance. You have the Maple Leaf with Sweetness and Love. You have the Tulip with Perfect Love, Elegance, and Gratefulness. Or is this? No, Gracefulness. And the duo energy is you being connected to more than just yourself. So you have a divine romance popping up in your reading, pile number 4. And of course, we could sense that partially in the 7th house. Relationships are different for everyone, so you're going to relate to others in different states. You wouldn't do things with your best friend that you would do with a divine partner necessarily. So your divine partner could be your best friend, but the vice versa. Anywho, you are embracing a lot at this time. I feel like it could be that you sense a divine partner coming into your life if they are not already here, pile number 4. And you are, I think, being asked to embrace this energy, embrace this person that comes to you, and know that they were sent to you. I feel like something about your intuition is saying, someone is coming into my life. It is someone I'm, going to relate to strongly. There will be romance there, sweetness, kindness. This person will be very graceful. They will be kindred in energy and in spirit. You're gonna know them and recognize them when they come into your life. And I think this is the part of the expansion that you're going through. I don't normally do love or relationship readings, pile number 4. This is more so for pleasure and intimacy, which absolutely does and can come from a divine partner, but it can come from many different areas as well. And I feel like your reading is really the only one that is talking about romance in a way that is very direct and is letting me know that there's a partner either again coming or is in your life that is sparking and sharing in this energy with you. Let's see what else is changing for them, please, Spirit, in regards to their pleasure and intimacy. I also feel like with the intuitive card, the message that we are going to be talking about is not necessarily going to be coming off as a surprise to you. You're going to know or intuitively feel what it is that we discussed today. Let's see. What do you want to show them, Spirit, about their pleasure and intimacy? Okay. Interesting. So even with all of this other outside energy, 7th house energy, Spirit is asking you to self-reflect. So you are being shown right now your focus, your self-reflection focus, and where you want to put a lot of your energy at this time. You do want to be a person that is balanced and that doesn't want or no longer wants to give too much to another person to the point where you feel minimized, where you no longer feel as if you are a part of the relationship as well. So at the bottom of the deck, it shows me what you need less of. And so it is that give and take energy, pile number 4. I think you could really have strong Libra placements as well. That just makes you need to find this very sensitive balance of me and them. So I think you're going to start understanding what you need less of in order to self-reflect and focus on moments for yourself. It doesn't even have to be, it's your balance. You get to find your balance. So however much you do give yourself, make sure that it is intentional and that you are giving yourself full attention and not just a part of your attention while you try to multitask or juggle something else that someone else needs. So being very direct about your needs, being very direct about what you are seeing in your self-reflection. This is a part of the intuitive process that you're going through. You're going to be intuitively called to reflect on yourself, on your desires, on your needs, what you need less of, what you need more of. And you are meant to embrace all that this self-reflection comes with. Let's see what affirmation you can have at this time for the changes that are taking place in your life. It's a big deck, so bear with me. Goodness. An affirmation, please, Spirit, for pile number 4. I might have to pull it out. Let's see, one more time. Okay. Yes. Yes. So much focus for you. So much focus at this time. And I'm going to read both the bottom of the deck and the card that came out for you. But this says, I am unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So be very unapologetic about what it is that you desire, pile number 4, because it's for a reason. Like you want this thing, you are drawn to this thing, whatever it is that you desire, for a reason. And so Spirit is asking for you to trust that you really know what it is that you are sensing. Again, the intuition is on point. It's not something that you need to question about yourself. If there is something that you are looking to reflect on and question, it should be about your lack of trust in certain moments. And when that comes up, just looking at it as a moment of growth, as an opportunity to grow, because you know what you feel, right? You know that you're feeling these feelings and that there are so many synchronicities around you to confirm what you're feeling. And so now you have to focus on yourself and what disbeliefs or doubts that you have, and focus on what you want to grow. It's like, don't focus on the negative in order to manifest more of that. You already, I'm sure, know how this goes as an intuitive. You want to focus on what you are aiming to grow and what you are aiming to release. I think you're going into these situations or moments of manifestation with true intention. So you are trying to differentiate the intention of releasing versus the intention of attracting, I feel like, at this time. At the bottom of the deck, it says, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. So you are absolutely releasing a specific outcome to your manifestation. You are doing so much of the embrace. You're trying to just hold on to your peace and let it be an embodiment, not just something that you surface level believe in. Like, you want to hold peace in your heart and surrender truly. Surrender truly to the process and worrying less and less about the outcome. And so that is how your focus is shifting around your pleasure. It's like you're just knowing that this thing is coming to you. You don't have to, again, stress. You don't have to worry. You can just trust in the process that is taking place. So let's see in the tarot what Spirit can tell us about this change for you, because, okay, quite a few though. I'm going to keep shuffling. 9 of Cups, 2 of Swords, Prince of Swords, and the 10 of Pentacles for you. But let's just one at a time see what Spirit wants you to know about this change in your life and what you are embracing at this time in regards to your pleasure. Spirit. This is definitely like a you time more than anything. Like, even with the 7th house being so present, and you definitely know that there is a relational energy that is supporting you and possibly being manifested at this time. So getting as much time to yourself as possible could be helpful in regards to, like, really getting to know your own energy before that other comes into it. The 7 of Swords. So you could also be seeing 777 a lot as well. The 7 of Swords, typically it talks about deception. It talks about dishonesty, not truth, or not being truthful. And I do sometimes, most of the time, honestly, read this as a self-deception. Someone who is not necessarily being 100% honest with themselves in a situation, because they want, again, a specific outcome to happen not realizing that they're not necessarily in the environment that they wish to be or that they are being directed to be in. So the Seven of Swords definitely can be something about like you feeding certain thoughts to yourself that are actually more harmful than good to you. They're more detrimental to what you believe in than what you actually like realize, I feel like. And so something about this is intuitively waking up for you. You're definitely working on your self-talk. You're trying to empower yourself more rather than tear yourself down. You want to speak confidence over yourself. Like you want to be confident and not like a false confidence, but like real. I know this is happening for me because of who I am. I know that I am intuitive. I'm not just thinking crazy thoughts and like not shit is happening. It's like this is really happening for you, but you have to believe yourself. You have to trust the universe that they are absolutely making this happen for you. And so you're putting in some more effort, I feel like, with the Seven of Swords. You're kind of not letting your mind overwhelm you. You are seeking certain mental clarity and balance. And you're focusing on other things that don't, again, breed doubt or like worry. You're trying to release the worry, and you're trying to also like find out, when did I start worrying? Like, when did this start just existing within me? And how can I release it intuitively? You have the Ten of Cups. Yes, honey. Look at this beautiful deck. I just love it. The Ten of Cups talks about you working not hard. I just don't like that word for this sentence. Working diligently towards your happiness and your emotional fulfillment. This is beautiful because this is what I have been sensing in the seventh house card. Is just a partner who you can share everything with, who you can create everything with, who is so emotionally in tune with what and who you are that your manifestations align to build something that withstands the test of time, that it goes beyond even your lifetime. It feels like you're building love, but such genuine love that it does not, it supersedes like time. It's like time stands still with this connection. Very interesting. Just so interesting. I feel like this person, you couldn't meet them through work or at work, but because you have the Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Either way, this person encourages you to be creative. They encourage you maybe to even be entrepreneurial, to start your own dreams, to follow your own dreams, because they see that within you and they see that it matters. They see growth and potential in you, and growth and potential in your love for each other and your relationship to one another. Yes, this feels, it's like not just your friendships or your family connections that are expanding. It is a relationship that is built, it's expanding so much that you almost couldn't believe it. You almost couldn't believe it with the Seven of Swords here and next to the Ten of Cups. You almost are afraid to believe in it. Again, but this is something that is changing for you, and intuitively you will be feeling more of this energy. It's not just going to be like, oh, I made it all up in my head and this is what I get for believing in X, Y, and Z with no proof, with no actual proof of it. And it's like, it's literally going to shock you. It's literally going to shock you, and you're meant to embrace the shock. You're meant to be shocked by yourself and your intuition. You had a few cards I want to pop out, but we just need one at a time, please, Spirit. And What's the thing? You're going to be shocked, and your intuition is going to prove to be very accurate for yourself. Let's see what else, Spirit. What else is involved in this energy? Because I feel like you manifested this, but that is not necessarily clear in the cards. But it feels as if you, again, have been very intentional about relations to other people, and now you are looking to bring this Ten of Cups energy to yourself before another individual is even introduced into your life. That's what it feels like. Let's see. What else? The Princess, or the Page of Coins or Pentacles. So there is, you're standing at a doorway at this point, and you're about to cross another threshold. You're, I think, learning a lot at this time, and it could be in a very physical sense, learning a lot about your body, learning to embrace and accept and love your body, learning to be very present with your physical self, because the coins does not just talk about money, it talks about your physical body, your physical self. So you're learning a lot about a lot in this manifestation process. So we mentioned the body part. We mentioned how you have, brought a person into your energetic realm, and you're manifesting the meeting of your divine partner. You're not manifesting a divine partner. You're manifesting the meeting, the approach, the connection between you and a divine partner that has already been in existence. So the Page of Coins just talks about you learning about this process, learning how to trust more in it, how to trust more into something that isn't necessarily fully developed at this point, because it isn't. And you, I feel like that's the part of you that is really getting to you, really keeping you stagnant and holding you in certain mindsets and in certain places, because it hasn't fully manifested yet. And so you're feeling certain feelings about this, not trusting that your intuition is guiding you to what is truth. And so the more that you learn about manifestation, the more that you learn about your emotional self, and the more that you learn about yourself in general, the more you will start to see more signs and synchronicities about your manifestation. But the Page of Coins just wants to encourage you to be curious, encourage you to learn more about energy and how that can transform into something very physical for yourself. But also learning to manifest with the purest intentions involved, and the highest good for everyone involved. What else, please, Spirit, for pile number 4? Pleasure and intimacy. You have the 7 of Wands. Again, another 7. This tells me that when it comes to other people and the people who are closest to you in your life, and you wanting to let them in on certain things that is transpiring in your life, really just don't let their energy influence your beliefs, especially if you heard a lot about, oh, that shit ain't real, or you can't possibly, believe that a man is just going to fall out of the sky. It's giving that kind of energy. The 7 of Wands, or a partner is not just going to fall out of the sky, whether man, woman, whoever. Pile number 4, you feel very defensive over what it is that you really want in your life, that you're really actually actively building towards. You feel very defensive, like people do not understand, that they continue to keep putting their energy into something that is not welcome for them to do so. And so this to me just feels like boundaries. With the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, you do need emotional boundaries with people. You can still be soft and very nurturing of your relationships, while also being very set and saying, I'm not going to let you ruin this. I'm not going to let you meddle this with your own energy. And you will intuitively know how to handle that conversation as you need to, as long as you tap in with compassionate emotions, not with angered or heated emotions. You cannot have a productive conversation when everything is heated and escalated. So when you are able to take moments to yourself and recalibrate emotionally, then you can go and have that conversation about, I really don't appreciate you talking down on something that is really important to me. If that is something that you even decide to express with another person. You have the King of Pentacles, baby. The King of Pentacles. So this is interesting because at the bottom of the deck, you do have the Five of Pentacles. So it's interesting to me how you have this like dual energy. There's something that, again, you don't believe in because you don't see it. It's not there. You don't physically have it. So it feels as if you are lacking and it almost feels as if you are manifesting more lack based on, again, what you have been focusing on. So the King of Pentacles, it's just telling you, believe and trust. Look around at what you have manifested for yourself because you are an abundant being. This is very clear. The King of Pentacles is a person who is very, very sure about what they invest their time in, very sure about what they have to offer and what they have to give to other people, and very sure about what they also deserve based on the work that they have put in. And so not only are you doing like physical work to learn more about yourself and your pleasure, your intimacy, your, emotional environment, but you're doing the work to also be very stable and secure in the physical realm, financially, materially. So these things are not untrue about you. I think you just have a hard time in seeing it, acknowledging it, and recognizing, because you have a certain perspective or mindset that is still blocking your true vision of what is trying to produce and happen. So the Seven of Swords feels very influenced by the Seven of Wands. Like other people have beaten you up so much energetically about what it is that you desire that it almost feels as if you have now let those thoughts and doubts seep into your manifestation process. You do have a divine partner. Pile number 4, it has come up so clearly for you. It is just that it's taking you some time because there's more that you need to embrace about yourself, and there's more that needs to grow within yourself as well. So your relationships will continue to grow. They will continue to be fluid. And I also do want to point out, just because they don't understand whoever it is does not mean that they lack in love for you. If anything, their misunderstanding is just like their only way to express how much they love you and how much they want the best for you, even if it doesn't seem like that right now. So let's see about how you are feeling. Okay. There's 2, and I feel like I want to keep them. So I'm going to read these 2 and then also the bottom of the deck for you, pile number 3. And then we're going to look and see how you can claim your inner peace in regards to these feelings and release what needs to be released or embrace what needs to be embraced, which you have so much of this word. It's like you have been such a person to not embrace certain things. And it's not like you don't embrace people. You're a very people person, I feel like, with the 7th house energy. But there's certain things about yourself that you have not been able to embrace. You have not been taught to embrace. And the word embrace just has in the past felt foreign to you. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? What am I meant to embrace? So let's see. You have the feeling of distant. You have been isolating yourself to protect your energy. Your positive energy is needed to help others. Step out of hermit mode soon. So you are definitely in a hermit mode. You've been feeling distant. It was necessary for your energy to protect it. And so, but it's now needed again to those other people. And of course, we've been talking about balance this whole time. So please make sure that what you give to others is balanced and reciprocated. But it will be time for you to step out of the hermit mode soon and to just embrace the differences that other people have in their life and to stand firm in what you believe in. You also have vulnerable. Embrace and feel every aspect of this emotion. It makes you human, shown through kindness, love, and sincerity. Say what you feel and take that risk. Ooh, so it could be someone that you are already aware of that you are wanting to take a risk and share a little bit of vulnerability with. Especially if you've been distant from that person, but I feel like you're distant in regards to the Seven of Wands and the people who have not been able to accept your path. But the vulnerability is in regards to this Ten of Cups, this, big emotion feeling situation. And Spirit is asking you to fall into it. It makes you human. It reminds you of your kindness and your softness and your love and your sincerity. And so that is something that is never meant to be taken for granted or thrown away. Say what you feel and take that risk. But of course, also take what resonates. Pile number 4. At the bottom of the deck, you have remorseful. You knew the better action to take, but instead you chose otherwise. You hurt yourself and possibly others around you. Very interesting about the remorseful. I feel as if it's in regards to the Five of Pentacles. And if you feel as if you are reacting to things out of lack, the better choice is the better action that you had was to do something different with that energy. And so I hope that with this knowledge of remorse being an energy that is very possible for you, I hope that you take the opportunity to be very grateful and to be able to show gratitude to what you do have in existence, because there's more. There's more trying to open up into your life with the Two of Cups here and the Ten of Cups being very relational cards. You have a divine partner, and it's trying to make itself very obvious and very clear for you without actually being directly in front of you, if that makes sense. Pile number 4. I am going to shuffle this last final deck in order for you to find your unshakable inner peace in this situation at this time. Let's see. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. Oh, too many. Way too many. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. Ooh. I like this. Okay. I like this for you, pile number 4. So the card that you have is anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. Okay. So the Seven of Swords, big, signs towards your anxiousness and your anxiety. And it's saying, what is your discomfort trying to free you from? Okay. And I really do. I believe that it's trying to free you from other people's beliefs, trying to steer you away from making decisions based on what other people feel as if you should be doing, or how they feel like, again, you should be existing in the world. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the how is in the now. What has your intuition been trying to tell you? Such a strong, clear message for the end of your reading based on you having the intuitive card. What has your intuition been trying to tell you, pile number 4, about your pleasure and why it is so important to connect with yourself before trying to connect with another and before trying to find validation about your desires from other people? It's like, it doesn't matter what they think, what they believe in, have faith in, or believe you can do if you believe in it. So as you're releasing your anxiety, and you are being very truthful and honest with yourself and embracing your truth, embracing the hard truths too. I hope that you realize more and more how your intuition has led you to this place and how it would never, ever steer you wrong as long as you are very intentional about tapping into it and wanting to know. Okay? Pile number 4, I hope that you enjoyed this in-depth reading about how pleasure and intimacy is changing in your life at this time. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace.